These are the two best teams in European football for me, A. West. When you look at how they play, when you look at the command they have in both boxes, the numbers truly don't lie. And the Z-score does not lie. And the overview for the Z-score is very simple. It looks at the aggregate of all these teams, or these two teams in particular, with where they stand attacking-wise, possession-wise, defensively, and most importantly, a keyword where both managers will definitely be harping on in their locker room: intensity. So it pretty much aggregates based on your league, and it takes that into consideration where your team or these two teams lie. Obviously, on the poor end, you have teams that got relegated, like your Heidenheims and your West Hams. On the lead end, it's the champions, like an Inter in Italy. So as I said, for me, the cream of the crop this season, both domestically in their leagues and of course in European football, the Z-score says that they definitely did not lie. Hey, Wes, when you look at the Z-score here, PSG, we know what they can do on an attacking end. Yeah. But Arsenal, they're right there with them.
Yeah. It doesn't surprise me to see these two teams so close in every single marker except for just possession. But both of these teams, like you mentioned, domestically, they were absolutely fantastic. They have been brilliant in Europe. It's not too many times I think you can say probably the best two teams in a competition will meet in the final. But I think that is the case in this year's Champions League final. Look at this. 97 and 98 when you add them up. It's absolutely ridiculous how tight the margins are, and I think the margins will be that tight on Saturday as well.
When you watch the build-up to the Champions League final, and obviously when you watch the final itself, you can't talk about PSG without talking about that fearsome front three. In my opinion, and this is just my personal opinion, PSG have the best attack in all of European football. Ivica Kvaratskhelia doing his thing, playing out of his mind. Ousmane Dembele playing out of his mind. Ousmane Ballon d'Or, back to Ballon d'Or levels. And Desiree Doué, the king of the final, or the prince, last campaign. But looking at these numbers, it is astounding to see where the numbers are compared to last season for Dembele. But with the rest of the supporting cast, in the Champions League in particular, I got my eye on Kvaratskhelia and Doué, Barcola as well, coming in hot.
First of all, I'm not going to disagree with you in the slightest. You are spot on. This front three for PSG is the best in Europe. They proved it last year. They've shown it again this year. They haven't dropped off. It took a little while to get into the season, but I think that was expected given the fact that they didn't have a preseason. They just went straight from the Club World Cup into this season. But look at these guys. Ousmane Dembele, we have talked ad nauseum about what he brings to the table, but it's not only the stats, it's how he affects the game, how he drifts around, how he is not a reference point for center backs. They can't touch him. He's smoke. So he opens up so much space for Kvara, for Doué. Bradley Barcola off the bench is a terrifying prospect as well because he starts for just about any other big team in Europe. But these four guys, whatever the combo is, probably this three plus them, it's going to be a ridiculous front three. It's a terrifying prospect, honestly.
Yeah, on the other side of things, as good as PSG's front line has been, Arsenal's attack, they're starting to get into their own. If you'd have told me that the difference between them would be 7 goals on the season, set piece FC, I'm talking about goal scoring FC, man. What are we seeing here?
Doesn't really fit with how the numbers shake out. This Arsenal team, they create a ton of chances. They press high. They turn teams over in dangerous areas. They don't score quite as many goals as PSG, but clearly they score goals, and it's not just the set pieces. This team has been brilliant all season, and it's going to be really interesting to see how they come up against this PSG.
One thing that catches my eye, the difference between the quality I see in the final third is this, the successful dribbles in the box. You think of the interchange of so many players, and should he be fit, we're going to get to him in a bit. The success of the wing backs, their ability to drive 1v1. At any given moment, the front three can beat you 1v1, but also any of the fullbacks can beat you 1v1. But full credit to Arsenal to getting shots off. But if you're Mikel Arteta looking at this Arsenal attack, it's good to see Bukayo Saka getting back healthy. But Victor Gyökeres, 21 goals in all competitions, 5 goals in the Champions League. For you, what do you see in the numbers with Arsenal with this fearsome foursome?
The goal conversion rate has to improve. Arsenal don't create a ton of chances, but when they do, they need to convert these chances. Leandro Trossard has been a really, really important player for Arsenal throughout this season. Bukayo Saka is Arsenal's player, and now it seems as if he's gotten his legs back under him. It's been a rough season in terms of injury layoffs, but he's back in the team. Kai Havertz, who I think, we'll talk about this in a bit, but I think he will be the guy for Arsenal on Saturday. We talk about Ousmane Dembele affecting the game outside of the statistics. Kai Havertz is another guy who does exactly the same. His movement, the way that he is able to drift and combine with Arsenal players has been key, will be key, but the conversion rate has to improve, because especially in a final, you have to take your chances, and if Arsenal are going to have a shout, it has to be better. So
the big question I have, and I'm sure a lot of Arsenal fans are going to be having, I know that people are going to look in that midfield, but we're talking about the front line. If you're Mikel Arteta, we're going to give you the managerial badges. Who do you start in this final? You alluded to Kai Havertz, but is there a case that 21 goals and the fact that you wouldn't be in this Champions League final had it not been for the performances, the spaces that Victor Gyökeres opens up, and obviously the finishing touch that he's found since the start of the calendar year, that has to account for something.
This is not an easy decision for Mikel Arteta, but I think the decision will be for Havertz. Because of the way that Arteta wants to play, ideally he wants a striker who can drop in and combine. He wants a striker who can run in behind. He wants a striker who can kind of do all of it, and that is Kai Havertz. He's almost the ideal Arteta striker. If he was a better finisher, he'd be perfect. But Victor Gyökeres, I think, will have something to say in this match. I don't think it'll be from the start, but off the bench, his running, his ability to press, his chance conversion, even if he does start, he has been so key for Arsenal defensively. His work off the ball has been, I don't see many strikers, or if any strikers, who work as hard as he does on the defensive side of the ball. So he will also bring that if he does get the start. But I think I will lean towards Havertz in this match. I think Arteta will go with him.
Yeah, I'm going to lean towards Victor Gyökeres because I think he's going to finish what he started. But that's the lap of luxury you have if you're Mikel Arteta. The big man, though, in this final for Arsenal has to be Bukayo Saka, captain the team in the second leg against Atleti. And finals are all about moments, and they're all about matchups. This is one of the biggest matchups on display in this final. Nuno Mensch, the left fullback for PSG, the best left fullback in world football right now. I stand on it. The numbers back it up as well, having a hell of a season by his standards. Bukayo Saka, although the numbers are what we're used to seeing, I think it's his lowest goal-scoring output since 2020-2021 season. Injuries have kind of derailed, and maybe a bit of confidence as well, what is now looking to be a redemption season for him in the final.
A lot of people were confused when Arsenal shelled out for Noni Madueke, but it was because exactly moments like this. Bukayo Saka had his injuries throughout the season, but Noni Madueke stepped up. He was able to deliver in key moments. But in past, we didn't have a backup for Bukayo Saka. And Arsenal couldn't say if he was out or out of form, they had someone to back him up. But this matchup between Bukayo Saka and Nuno Mendes, and even further, that entire side is going to be absolutely incredible. But Nuno Mendes, I agree with you. He is the best left back in world football. He does it all. He scores, he creates. You might see him pop up in midfield a la Ricardo Calafiore, but he's just a footballer. That's the way I would describe Nuno Mendes. He's a footballer. He can just do it all. Technically proficient, physically incredible, a brilliant footballing brain. This battle is going to be incredible.
Yeah, it's really remarkable to see what a difference a season makes. This was last year's matchup where Bukayo Saka did etch his name into Arsenal folklore and history. Scores a goal in the semifinal, scores a goal again to punch Arsenal's ticket to the Champions League final. But now on the PSG side, I said it is going to be so important how Arsenal deal with their fullback situation. Looking at the Z score, it's amazing to think how neck and neck PSG and Arsenal are from a defensive standpoint. But for me, a big reason why they have the edge in the attacking end of things has been the quality that they have, not just with Nuno Mensch, but also when you have a healthy Achraf Hakimi. And when we look at how important Hakimi's been, for some context, last season, Achraf Hakimi was the leading goal scorer amongst defenders in the UEFA Champions League. He was a big factor in the final, but even without Hakimi, and reports are Hakimi is training as we speak today for PSG, looking to play a part in the final. He still has to get healthy, but but not a backup if you're Warren Zaire-Emery. 21 times he's had to fill the void at right back,
100%.
he's pretty damn good.
Yeah, there's not a, it's crazy to say there's not a massive drop off from Hakimi to Warren Zaire-Emery. You touched on this in our other shows. Warren Zaire-Emery has just lifted his game. He has become who we thought he would be, but even almost before we thought he would be this guy. The versatility that he has shown, the maturity to be able to step in as a right back for Achraf Hakimi. Achraf Hakimi, though, if he can play, terrifying prospect. The way that he bombs up and down the wing and cuts in, he's a brilliant player.
Yeah, we see the biggest difference between the two of them. The number of crosses that come into the final third. I go back to the first leg against Bayern Munich. Bayern didn't have an answer for him when he was healthy because his underlapping runs wreak havoc and open up spaces for the cutback
100%.
for one Ousmane Dembele or Kvaratskhelia. Now, goalkeepers are often the most slept on players in finals, but goalkeepers often decide Champions League finals. And if you're Arsenal, arguably, do you have the best goalkeeper in the world for the Gunners?
On form, you could probably say David Raya is the best goalkeeper right now. Probably should have been in a shout for Premier League Player of the Season. Arguably, Arsenal's Player of the Season. David Raya has been absolutely brilliant. And if you want a reference point for how important he is to this team, watch the Carabao Cup final. Go out and watch that and see how different Arsenal is with Kepa in goal, with David Raya in goal. He is the spark. He is the creator for. He builds out of the back for them. He is so important in their build out. The way that he plays off his line is so important for Arsenal pressing high. David Raya has been immense. His growth in the Arsenal goal has been fantastic over the last couple of years. But Matvei Safonov, nothing to scoff at. Massive, massive gloves to fill with Gigio Donnarumma. But as the season's gone, took the gloves from Chevalier, showed that he probably is the guy for the future for PSG, made some really, really big saves. Not a guy to scoff at in the slightest. I think he's made for these moments as well. Yeah,
it's such a redemptive story for him, showing you that at any given moment you can go from being an outsider to potential hero for PSG. Now, we've given our sort of behind-the-scenes information with SofaScore, but I want to see what the Oracle has to say. And the Oracle never lies, but the Oracle is all about the numbers. Looking at the Oracle says PSG's high pressure yields early returns.
Wow.
But Arsenal doesn't shrink. The Oracle's telling us that the Gunners are going to get their hands on their first ever European title in the form of the UEFA Champions League. Hey, Wes, are you buying what the Oracle is saying?
If I was going to make this prediction, it would be the opposite. I would pick PSG because of the quality they have. They've already done it. Their front three, these matches come down to big moments and special moments from special players. PSG just are chock full of special players. So if it was going to be me picking it, I'm very superstitious when it comes to these. So I almost never pick Arsenal. But trying to be unbiased, I would give PSG the edge here.
Yeah, and look, if Martin Odegaard, if you're going to go by the Oracle, I don't have the betting numbers, but if Martin Odegaard delivers the final just trophy clinching moment, that will be a big payday for a lot of people. The Oracle's going to pick the man of the match, and the man of the match of all people, it's not Bukayo Saka, it's Arsenal captain Martin Odegaard. So, hey Wes, I want to ask you this. For me, Arsenal, they don't get their hands on that trophy had it not been for Martin Odegaard coming off the bench against West Ham. But for you, is he a Martin Odegaard that will be the difference maker in the final, or do you see other people getting their just presence felt?
Yeah, Martin Odegaard over the last couple weeks has been brilliant for Arsenal. Coming back from an injury layoff, injection of energy, injection of leadership, just the way that he has driven this team both defensively, on the ball, off the ball. He's been brilliant. I can absolutely see this being his day because of the way he's come to the fore in the most important part of the season.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see what this all really kind of comes down to. So when we look at eventually looking at the combined 11, I'm going to definitely go this way because I got my 2 steps in. Looking at the combined 11 for PSG and for Arsenal, a lot of people will say that the writing's on the wall, that PSG, pound for pound, player for player, have the better talent and the better players. But when I look at this combined 11, there's some Arsenal players that definitely have stake in this combined 11. Now, this is going to be based on the SofaScore ratings and also the performances that we've seen. But for A West, when you look at the Oracle saying, man, the match Martin Odegaard, does he even get in this team? We'll get to that in a bit. Looking at just even the back line to the midfield to this front three, anything stick out to you?
I might make two swaps, like a PSG and an Arsenal swap. I might swap out Marquinhos for William Saliba, but that's nitpicking. Marquinhos has been PSG's captain, brilliant player, and I would probably swap out Timber for Hakimi. But other than that, I don't really have an argument with this 11. PSG's midfield are brilliant. Their front three, we know they're brilliant. As much as I love Bukayo Saka, I don't think right now on form he's getting in ahead of Desiree Doué. Joao Neves is a brilliant midfield player. Martin Odegaard would have that shout to get in there as well, but Vitinha, Rice, Neves, that is probably the best midfield three in football right now. If you could put together between those two teams, I don't really have an argument here, man.
Hey, you've made your case. Now it's over to you guys. Be sure to leave a comment and tell A West, tell me, tell SilverScore, and Numbers Don't Lie. Did we get the combined 11 correct? And did we get who has the edge correct? A West, well done, man.
Hey, thanks for watching this video from Numbers Don't Lie. Be sure to catch our show every Monday at 5 p.m. on YouTube. And for news and insights from